I don't like about Microsoft Teams,
Do
you're
it.
supposed to change this, but you can't turn this off.
Good evening. The Charter Township of Plymouth Board of Trustees regular meeting for Tuesday, January 25th, 2022 will come to order. Mr. Clerk, please take the roll.
Trustee Stewart is excused. Trustee Monahan.
Present.
Clerk Forba, present. Trustee Dorshevitz.
Here?
Trustee Kermy.
Here.
Treasurer Clinton is excused. Supervisor Heising.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Pledge of Allegiance tonight will be led by Building Director Ken McDonald.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ken. I think this is your first meeting as Building Director. It is. All right. Well, we'll try to be nice to you. Okay, also joining us tonight from our engineering firm is Mark Collins. He'll be substituting for Jeremy Schroet. So we're getting everybody here to the table. Need a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Mr. Supervisor.
Mr. Clerk.
I move for the approval of the agenda for Tuesday, January 25th, 2022.
Motion made by Clerk Vorva. Is there a second? Second by Trustee Monahan. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Tonight's consent agenda, we have multiple items. We have Alexandria Huff is here tonight. She is our nominee to the Downtown Development Authority. And Benjamin Kronk is here as well for the appointment to the Environmental Leadership Commission. Sure, they can come forward if you want. We'll start with Ben. The red button.
It's good? Okay.
It's on.
Oh, it's on.
Okay, okay.
As long as it's red.
All right. Well, anyway, good evening, everyone. I'm Ben Kronk. I live here in Plymouth Township, lived here since 2013. Grew up in Dearborn. Graduate of Michigan State University, undergraduate, and University of Michigan Ross School of Business. I work for a company called Genitherm, which is headquartered in Northville Township. It's a global auto supplier that's involved in manufacturing thermal management components. I've been at that company for about 5 years now. And some years ago, I had volunteered for the Citizens Advisory Committee with Plymouth Township, and I'm glad to get the opportunity to contribute some of my time and effort again to help make the township even better than it already is.
Okay. Thank you. Alexia?
Hi, I'm Alex Huff. I'm an urban planner. I've been practicing for over 8 years. Previously, I'd worked for Oakland County, also with some private firms, and most recently with a private architecture development firm. I'm taking some time right now with all the COVID and everything. I'm expecting our second child here in a month. So,
Congratulations.
But we've been township residents for the last 6 years, and we live very close to the Ann Arbor Road corridor. So really excited about what I've been seeing. We spend a lot of time there every week, and excited to contribute. Thank you.
Thank you.
And if it's a boy, Bob is a really good name.
And Alex would be serving as one of our public members of the DDA. As you recall, we have to have a majority of the members have to be businesses or representing businesses in the corridor, but we also can have a core group of citizens as well.
So you said he's DDA?
No, he's environmental and she's DDA.
All right.
Yep. And then George Lytle has been on the DDA board for many years.
Yes.
And he's not here tonight, but he owns the Great Cuts on Ann Arbor Road next to Kroger's, the barber shop. So very good member of the DDA, comes to all the meetings, contributes, and is very interested in staying on board.
Mr. Supervisor.
Okay, Mr. Clerk.
I move for the approval of the consent agenda for Tuesday, January 25th, 2022.
Okay, motion's made by Clerk Vorva. Is there a second? Second by Trustee Monahan. You'll have to take the roll on this, Mr. Clerk.
Okay. Trustee Monahan.
Yes.
Clerk Vorba, yes. Trustee Dorshevitz.
Yes.
Trustee Kermy.
Yes.
Supervisor Heising.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Congratulations. You don't have to stay for the meeting if you don't want to, but it's up to you. I know Mary Ann McLaren is the chair of the Environmental Leadership Commission, so Ben, you might want to grab her before you leave. They were supposed to meet last night, but we had some weather and personnel issues that prevented us from doing that. But they will be meeting again on February 28th. Okay, public comment is limited to 3 minutes. This is not your only opportunity during the meeting. There'll be another opportunity for public comment at the end of the meeting. And we also encourage public comment on individual agenda items, as long as they are germane to that particular topic. So at this time, is there anybody who would like to speak? Okay, going to move on to new business. This all ties into the World Stone and Tile Industrial Facilities Tax Exemption Certificate. Before we consider that, which is item F2, we have to do a public hearing on the application. So Clerk Vorva, would you walk us through that process?
Yes, as you recall, back in November, on November the 16th, we had a public hearing to create the district where the IFTs are going to be, and we held that public hearing, and then after that, we moved and created the development district on 2016, and so today we have to, by statute, hold a public hearing. It's been publicly noticed and in the newspapers, and so we need to proceed with the public hearing.
Okay. So that would be...
Me.
You want to start us off
Yes,
with
I
that?
move for the public hearing to open at
7:06.
7:06.
All right, a motion's been made by Clerk Vorba. Is there a second? Second by Trustee Monahan. We will need a roll call to open the public hearing.
Supervisor Heisey.
Yes.
Trustee Kermy.
Yes.
Trustee Dorchevitz.
Yes.
Clerk Vorba, yes. Trustee Monahan.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, we are now in a public hearing at 7:07 regarding the application by World Stone and Tile LLC for an industrial facilities.
IFT.
Industrial Facilities Tax Exemption application. We have the applicants here tonight. We don't bite or anything like that, so just come forward and just tell us who you are, what you're all about. Where you're going to be located is also very important, and any other questions that we have.
Hi.
And just state your name for the record and your position with the company.
Good evening. My name is Rob Strachey. I'm president of World Stone and Tile. And on behalf of my wife, Cynthia, who's joined us tonight, we're happy to have a meeting with you tonight to discuss the new headquarters for World Stone Group in the Ridgefly Corporate Park, located in the Michigan International Technology Center. A little bit of an overview about World Stone and Tile, what we do. We produce granite and quartz and engineered stone countertops for residential commercial use. We've been doing this since 1996. So we were founded back in 1996. You want to hit the minute?
Go ahead.
So back in 1996, we started the company up in Clarkston, Michigan. Back then, we knew that our industry was basically custom fabrication. It was carving, it was craftsmanship of countertops and things like that. But as the industry became popular with granite and more demand came on from the end user, we quickly learned that the industry needed to move more into lean manufacturing, utilizing machinery. So we needed to have a bigger facility. So in 2000, we moved our headquarters to Farmington Hills, Michigan, which is our current location. We invested in some straight line NC machines. And then in 2004, we made a substantial investment in CNC machinery. That was a launch to increase our capacities, increase our volumes, decrease our downtimes, and get more output to meet the demand from the end users and from builders and from big box stores, from anybody and everybody that was looking to take this product on. There just really wasn't enough factory supply to meet the demand of what was happening. So basically that was the growth. In 2015, we retooled our operations in Farmington Hills, invested in all new CNC machines, again, to stay ahead of the technology and to increase our uptimes. So that's a little bit about the history of our company. Our process is pretty simple. As an organization, even all our employees, we're very persistent in focusing on quality, making sure that we're as efficient as possible, but really it's meeting the expectations of the consumers that we're dealing with, whether it's builders or commercial reps or even the end user, remodelers, designers. So the process in doing that is what we do is we pretty much are a single source supplier. So we'll purchase all our own slabs, whether they're quartz manufactured or natural stone. We inventory all those slabs, and the consumers or the builders will come in and pick the slabs for their projects. At that point, we implement our digital, so we're fully digital. So all our digital measuring devices are done by we go into the people's houses, we measure their countertops digitally, and they're stored into the cloud. At that point, we are taking pictures of the slabs that they're using, and we're pulling the digital measurements from the clouds, and we're pulling them onto the slabs to create slab nesting. So we'll be able to have a visual picture of a slab and your countertops on the slab, and we're able to move that around. And what's important about that is we're able to move around to achieve the optimal look for that consumer, but also more so to achieve yield and decrease our waste in the slabs. Once that's done, the programming sent out to our manufacturing facility, where all our CNC machinery is and the product's produced, quality checked twice throughout the plant, and then shipped out with our install teams who are in-house installers, and they complete the installation in whatever application or market segment we're dealing with. So moving on to technology is, our industry is heavy on lean manufacturing now. So you'll find that there's a range. Smaller people will still be doing hand custom fabrication, but the bigger people are really moving towards optimizing lean manufacturing, and they're really pushing towards Industry 4.0 processing. And that's a critical component because in this turnkey operation we want to build in Plymouth Township at the Ridge 5 Corporate Park, we want to be able to make sure we're moving towards Industry 4.0 processing. It's going to give us feedbacks in our machines on an ongoing basis of our feed rates, our load times, our spindle speed times. We're going to understand our efficiencies anytime, anywhere. We're going to be able to understand if sensors are going bad, if parts are going bad, that they'll automatically be reordered and shipped to our facility and minimize downtime. So that's a heavy push. In doing that, it's going to make us an optimized industrial processor of countertops, coming from a custom fabricator back in 1996. It'll achieve a high level of quality for our end user, but it'll also achieve a very safe work environment for our employees in doing so. So the next slide is basically the technology used to measure. So the top left is the actual measuring device. So that's what stores it into the cloud. The bottom left is the nesting. So this is an example of slabs that we'll pull pictures of slabs, we'll put your countertops on, and we're able to move that around to achieve the finished product. And also optimize our yield and minimize our waste. The slide on the right here is our tool measurer. So what that does, it measures all our tooling within 5 microns. So it actually gives a higher rate of speed on our tooling, so we're able to run higher lineal inches per minute to achieve a higher, greater output. It's all a part of what's up front before it really hits the production line, which is next. The next one is our production line. So these are the machines that will be used in our production facility. We're excited about these machines. They minimize load and unload time, and they increase throughput by having dual tables and just optimal flow. And they're all worked within a safe environment. They have shut-offs, and it's important for our employees that they're safe. So this will be our production line. The next slide, which we're really excited about, the next slide is a water recycling system. This is important because our current facility, we don't have one that houses this. So all our machines require water. So we are fresh feeding water directly into our machines right now. And that bill is running roughly $80,000 to $100,000 a year in just cost. Whereas this system is going to be a closed loop system. We're going to be able to recycle out all particles where the water gets down to such a clean, pure water, it can be fed back to our machines and be reused. All our building is going to be fully trenched so we can capture this water. We have a slope on our floor. All the water is sloping to the drains, so the surface being wet is going to be minimized. Again, this is important because, you know, we don't really want to be throwing stuff out into the, definitely not the storm sewers, but definitely also not, you know, the sanitary sewers for sure. I mean, we're just trying to minimize stuff like that. So this is a good investment, saves us cost, saves us time. Next slide is the markets we serve. So we're excited about these. We have a diverse market customer base. What's great about the new facility with the increased output, increased capacity, is we're going to be able to really start tapping into these markets even greater. That's important for us because there's a lot of market share out there. And we should be able to go obtain more of that market share with this new facility. But what we really want to focus on, because we have a strong hold on national, regional, and local builders, home builders, but we want to have an immense focus on more commercial work, senior living, student living, things like that. So those are that's the markets we're going to be going after. The next slide is
Current workspace.
this is our current workspace we're in right now. 17,200 square feet. What's nice about it is everything is under actually one roof. That'll be the same with the new facility. We have our slab showroom here. We have our manufacturing facility, and we're also supporting our office and our showroom in this facility. The problem is this facility is no longer meeting the capacities we need. So we are running one shift. We don't have enough space to warehouse our inventory. We don't have any room to warehouse staged inventory or finished goods inventory. We're pretty much have run out of room. So it's limiting us even going to a hybrid shift or a two-shift system. So it's more of the reason why it's almost double the size of the new building of this building. So even more of the reason why we're excited about this venture we're going to achieve. So the next slide is the location. So we're excited about the location. It's the Ridge 5 Corporate Park. Studied what Hillside Investments has done with the park and in developing the park. We think it's a very professional, nice looking park. I think it meets exactly the anticipation of what Plymouth Township is looking for. Why Plymouth Township for World Stone? Why that location for World Stone? My wife and I live just off Beck Road, and we're in Plymouth Township all the time, in Plymouth and in Northville, so we like that area specifically for that. But truthfully, it's an appealing township for our building, for our customer base, for people who are going to be visiting our building. The demographics of our customers are all within this area. But the primary focus is if you were to drop a pin right where's the center of our market share, this pretty much hits the spot. Plymouth Township right at this spot. We're happy with the design that the township has come up with, moving west from Beck Road. But our market share is really heavily moving west from 275 down M14, down I-96 towards Brighton, Lansing, and Ann Arbor. So our studies and our feedback from the national builders that we deal with is Ann Arbor is going to be a hot area of growth from here to Ann Arbor. So we needed to find a spot that was going to drop and be logistically acceptable for us to be able to move our trucks and decrease drive time. Farmington Hills doesn't really have the land we need or buildings available in that area. And they're built out going east. So we're coming west, and we feel this is the spot to beat to make that happen. For the next slide. So this is our site plan. So the building is 31,600 square feet. Study about this plan here is you have two entrance ways. So you have one on the north side of the building. That will be the focal point. So as you drive into Ridge 5 Corporate Park, that north entrance, the top of that entrance, will be where our offices, our showroom is, and where the most professional looking visual look our customers or anyone entering into the park is gonna see first. So we're excited about that entrance. That'll be a customer entrance. But we're also excited about the other entrance because it's gonna be heavier compacted asphalt, and it's gonna be more for shipping and receiving. But what it's doing is taking all the trucks and all the receiving down the left side or the south side of the building and keeping the warehouse and all those traffic going around the back. So the appealing part is always gonna be seen and done on the north side entrance of the parking lot. For the next slide, this is the actual rendering. So we're
Beautiful.
excited about this rendering.
Beautiful.
My wife and I probably argued quite a bit different times over colors, and I lost on all those arguments. On the
It's
colors.
covered with granite though, right?
So this is the rendering of our new building. What was important to us is we wanted to match what we think Plymouth Township is looking for and Hillside Investments. And we wanted to design a building that was inviting, professional, had that appeal, that wanted to draw people in and just set the stage of what's important, not only for World Stone Group, but also for the community, to support what the community wants and wants to achieve. You look at the buildings that just recently went up on the southwest corner of Beck Road and 5 Mile. The Panera Bread has a very similar facade. So very appealing facade, very attractive facade. This building is 31,600 square feet. Again, that's double the size. So our increased volumes are going to be substantial in this new building. So for the next slide, that goes into our capacity revenue. So currently in our facility that we're in Farmington Hills, our revenue capacity is 6.6 million based on a single shift. We can't go anymore because we can't store any more inventory. We can't store any more finished goods, like I said. So in a single shift in this new building, our revenue capacity is 14.4 million. We're excited about that because that's just a single shift. Once we start running hybrid shifts and start going 2 shifts, which is the goal, we even have higher revenue and higher jobs coming to the area. So we're excited about that.
How many jobs are you looking at total?
So actually, that's
Got
the next slide coming up.
There you go.
So we're going to be bringing 20 jobs to Plymouth Township with this new facility with the idea of adding 6 new positions by 2025. The most important the team we have currently is a great team, and I'm excited. They buy into the management and the strategies of the company, and our turnover rate's very minimal. But what we do need to invest in is we do need to invest in people that have educations, degrees, more towards our industry. So we are looking for, in the new jobs, are going to be people that are going to add to our production, are going to be business management focused, or are going to be engineers that are going to understand how can we add value to this company and help them grow their model. So that's important to us. Now, more so, if you start looking at the capacities, there's potential of 34 new additional jobs that can be added on top of the 26 that we'll have within the first 2 years. That is the growth within this facility, and that's for 2 shifts. So if we were to run a 3rd shift, which would be optimal, there is even more growth. So we're excited about the new jobs we're going to bring to Plymouth Township. Hopefully they spend money here, like me and my wife do, and we're just overall excited about that. So that's pretty much the presentation for that. The rest is the tax abatement submissions, which you got the letters and all the site plans and things like that. So I don't know if you have any more questions.
Well, you're looking for a standard 50% 6-year tax abatement.
Correct.
Beautiful.
That's not, we don't give any abatement because there's no taxes on personal property anymore.
No.
It goes away next year.
It should go away next year, but this is all new. Are you bringing anything over from Farmington Hills, any of the equipment, machinery?
We'll be bringing over 3 pieces of machinery.
So everything else will be new?
Everything else will be brand new.
Yeah, so that would be exempt. And even the stuff they're bringing over from Farmington Hills may be exempt or
Exempt
largely
also,
exempt
yeah.
at this
We don't
point.
tax personal property.
No.
No.
So what's being abated is the question.
Is the
Real property,
real property?
Oh, the real
the building.
Yeah. Land and building,
Landscaping is included in that?
yeah.
So, okay, so, any other questions?
I have some questions.
Yeah,
You
go.
gonna close the hearing first?
No,
Is that what-
no, no.
Okay. In the application, it looks like you split the year, launch year by one. You went from 2023, and now you say 24. Which is the right one or the target on your timeline?
Well, the target is actually to be in by May of 2023. But again, our business case, we're still piecing all the pieces of the puzzle together. So we're hopeful for that, but we wanted to make sure we were realistic and truthful about potentially what our date could be.
So the builder has a timeline that says certificate of occupancy in early 2023? Is the builder here?
Yep.
Okay, and you are Silo? Sorry? You're going to own the building? Who's CYR? Okay, that's the family ownership of the.
Yes,
Okay. And the drawing, you actually bought are you going to be leasing the triangle piece also? On the north side of the
No.
railroad?
No.
The drawing
No.
shows that,
no.
so I'm just curious.
No, that's not part of the deal.
Sorry about that.
So that's an error.
The drawing of the area is just the Ridge 5 Park itself.
Yeah.
That north parcel, I believe, is unit number 9, which I believe is outside of
Which
us.
one?
We're unit number 6.
Yeah, I don't know where that map is. Which one are we looking at?
The one with the circle on it,
Yeah, the one with the circle shows the triangle as part of the.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, the triangle is not part of it, so,
Okay,
yeah, no, that's good.
I thought we had some new news or something.
No, that's,
What's going to happen to the triangle?
I think we zipped right over it.
There,
Oh, I see, yeah, the triangle.
yeah.
Yeah, no, the triangle is not part of this.
no,
That would be more of an amenity for a gas station or
Service.
convenience store of some sort.
yeah,
Is there a railroad going through?
Yeah,
yes,
that's the railroad that separates the triangle property from their site.
yeah.
So the entrance to the corporate park is just south of the railroad. The entrance
Yes,
in
right.
the lines around.
And that's all been built, I mean, everything's. all the
Everything's in
land-
place.
The land is in place, the road, infrastructure, everything's ready.
Sewers, everything.
So, any other questions from the board?
Any questions?
Any questions from the public? All righty then.
Mr. Supervisor.
Mr. Clerk,
I move for the public hearing to be closed at
7:27.
7:27.
Motion's made by Clerk Vorba, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Trustee Monahan. Mr. Clerk, please take the roll to close the public
Clerk
hearing.
Vorba, yes. Trustee Kermy.
Yes.
Supervisor Heisey.
Yes.
Trustee Monahan.
Yes.
Trustee Dorchevitz.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, next is item F2. This is the request to consider the application of World Stone for the Industrial Facilities Exemption Certificate for a new facility. Based on what we've heard here tonight and the information before us, I don't know if there's any more questions. If not, I would entertain a motion on this item.
Mr. Supervisor.
Mr. Clerk.
I move for the adoption of Resolution 2022-01-25-03, granting a 6-year industrial facilities exemption certificate to World Stone and Tile LLC for the land and new building located at 49700 Techney Drive, Plymouth, Michigan.
Thank you. Motion's made by Clerk Vorba, seconded by Trustee Kermy. Mr. Clerk, please take the roll.
Trustee Dorchevitz.
Yes.
Supervisor Heisey.
Yes.
Trustee Monahan.
Yes.
Trustee Kermy.
Yes.
Clerk Vorba, yes. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And thank you very much. That was a beautiful, beautiful presentation on a beautiful building.
We look forward to seeing it. I love the colors.
Jerry, are there contracts for this anymore, or that's gone?
Yes, there's going to be the whole packet I've got, and then now that I've got the resolution, I tie the resolution to the packet. We sign the contracts, and then move all that information to the state.
Because the state still has to approve all this.
Yes.
Okay. Very good. Congratulations. We're going to move on to item F3. This is approval of the bid for township facility cleaning services. Ken, you have a microphone there, or you can come forward. It's up to you.
Back in September, we decided to go out for an RFP for a new janitorial service. The one we have Currently, we've given at least a year to make some corrections, and they weren't being made, so we thought it was time. We've had them since 2005, and just the service has kind of been going downhill. Back in September, we said we created an RFP and put it on BidNet Direct. In November, I had a walkthrough here for any interested parties in bidding on the janitorial service, and I had 13 companies show up for this. After our walkthrough, we went through December 3rd was their deadline for submittal of their proposals, and we received 5 proposals from janitorial companies. One of the 5 was our existing company, so I kind of narrowed it down to 4. Jerry and I did a bid opening on these on the following week of the deadline that we received these, and we picked 3 companies out of the 4. We had interviews a couple days shortly after that, and from our interviews, both Jerry and myself decided GDI was best for the township, very professional, some really good clients that they had for their current business that they have now, and we just thought that'd be a good fit for the township. And both Jerry and I would like to recommend that GDI be our new janitorial service.
And so the game plan tonight would be to approve the bid submitted by GDI, and then we would execute a contract, a formal contract with them at more than likely our next board meeting.
And that contract will be 1 year only?
1 year, and then we have a 30-day out. If for some reason we're not happy with them within that year, we can give a 30-day notice and go on to another one if we choose.
So what does this include? Township Hall? Does it include?
Township Hall, the DPW building, and our Friendship Center.
Friendship Center, okay. I just approved the bills today, so.
And then we do the police department, we do them 3 days a week, and then the other facilities, ours, DPW, and Friendship gets done twice a week.
Okay, and then you have a quote that was almost half of what you're asking for.
They use,
How do you rectify that?
They're a government-assisted program that uses people getting back into the workforce that have had some issues in the past. We interviewed them. We did they weren't bad, but we didn't know if they could fulfill all of our needs as far as like transportation of getting people here. It sounded like they had the group had to bring people to the site as opposed to an individual coming to the site. And our police department has some unique issues of hazardous waste cleanups throughout a monthly cycle. Somebody gets sick in a cell in a police car, a bloodborne pathogen or something that needs cleaning up. So there's some extra services that need to be done in the off hours. And I wasn't quite sure if that company could fulfill those needs.
Those were people re-entering?
Yes,
Re-entering and
correct.
other issues. And so it's a very good program, just that when you realize that you may have to have these extra services done in an emergency fashion, they would need to be driven here and then have a supervisor kind of help them. And the reason their price is so low is that they're augmented by the state and federal prices. So their price is half as much because they're getting money from the state and federal government.
So these people are ex-convicts or developmentally disabled?
Some or both.
Both?
Correct.
All right, well, we do want to help those people out.
Absolutely. It was a very nice program. It's just that we felt that our particular needs would be a stress on their ability to get people here because some of those people can't drive. And so when you need that kind of logistic things going on, it was a problem. But a very good program, and I would promote that in some other situation where you didn't have the kind of needs that we have, especially with the police department.
Ken, will this firm be able to do COVID sprays?
Yes.
Okay.
So tell me why we should pay 33% more than we are now. Are we going to get that kind of value? I need to help when we increase,
Yes,
when we increase the cost by 33%,
Well,
that's a big number.
Well, sure it is, and as you know that the cost of inflation, everything's going up, material and everything else. And so this is not really out of that realm of what someone would be doing. The past corporation just wasn't performing in the way that suited our needs, both in the police department especially and here. And so when you realize that our employees here are deserving of nice, clean workspace, you have the lockup cells that need to have special cleaning
How often are they going to clean the cells?
as needed. They come in 3
a week.
times.
They will be in 3 times a week for the police department, and they do a full cleaning of the police department 3 days a week.
And they're called in for emergency.
So that's my point, is they have an on-call person?
Yes.
Yes.
Wow,
Okay.
it's hard to believe there's that much inflation but
Yeah.
33%.
Well, we weren't getting the service because of they were having staffing issues. Some of their excuses for not even showing up on days of cleaning
Yeah,
were becoming really poor.
So what is unique about this company that they can attract the staff?
They're all employees. These are not
Correct.
contract people.
They're not contract.
The other people are contract people. The other companies we talked to were all contract people except for this services engaging potential. All of them were contract. These are certified employees, and they have gone through all their background checks that we'll be, of course, checking on for the police department. But these people are already background checked and in-service employees.
And with these companies, with them, we're going to get 6 to 10 people vetted through the police department, background checked in the whole 9 yards prior to the start of the service.
You mean you're going to have you'll have 10 people that are certified?
Correct.
to
They might
clean
only
the-
send 3 or 4 on a cleaning basis, but if 2 can't make it or 1 can't make it, there's always a backup that will be approved through PD that they're okay to be in our facilities.
I hope we get the value for the money, so
Okay.
let's watch.
That's our goal. We have 1 year, like I said,
Watch it
100%.
close.
Well, and you have to realize that, I mean, these people are going to be in our areas where we have election stuff. And so when you talk about the scrutiny of elections, you got to have a first-rate company with employees that are certified to do this kind of work and be around the kind of equipment and the police department that we deserve.
Are they going to be bonded?
Yes.
Yes.
And the contract will be reviewed by Kevin Bennett and will be given to the board at our next earliest opportunity. Any other questions from the board? Anybody in the public? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Supervisor.
Mr. Clerk.
I move that the Board of Trustees approve the bid for cleaning services submitted by GDI Integrated Facility Services and authorize the Township Supervisor and Attorney to negotiate and present a service contract to the Board of Trustees at a further action.
Motion's made by Clerk Vorba. Is there a second? Second by Trustee Dorchevitz. Mr. Clerk, please take the roll.
Supervisor Heising.
Yes.
Clerk Vorba, yes. Trustee Kermy.
Yes.
Trustee Monahan.
Yes?
Trustee Dorchevitz.
Yeah.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next is item F4. This is a request to, as a result of the federal ARPA funding guidelines, which we discussed extensively at our last meeting, it has forced us to, it's a good problem to have. It's forced us to potentially expand our sidewalk gap project for this year. As you may recall, we authorized a sum of $200,000 in our general fund budget for this year's sidewalk gap program. So what I would like to do tonight is commit an additional $700,000 in ARPA funds to supplement the sidewalk gap project for a total expenditure of $900,000. Now, this does not mean we are authorizing $700,000. We are not appropriating $700,000. What we're doing is giving the engineers the opportunity to do the further engineering and survey work that is necessary for these gap project priorities 1, 3, 13, and 14, and also to start preparing the bid documents that are necessary to get this proposal out on the street. This is going to be very competitive this year because every community is going to be spending their COVID money, their ARPA money on infrastructure projects like sidewalks and streets. I know City of Detroit is spending $24 million on a new, to rehabilitate an old senior citizens facility in the city. So everybody, it's going to be very competitive. I expect that the prices are going to be very high. So we're not committing tonight, and I'm kind of looking at the engineer here. I mean, we're not committing tonight to spend all this money because we still don't know yet what the bids are going to come in like. Through our joint recreation plan with the city of Plymouth, connectivity, walkability, accessibility were high priorities, and we'd like to continue that project in the next couple of years using the COVID money. We also have to, even though we're not necessarily going to be audited in a formal sense, we still, once all this money is spent, we still have to tell the federal government how we spent it. And we have to basically identify discernible projects for use. And we'll have a lot bigger discussion in the weeks ahead about where that rest of that money might go. But to get the ball rolling tonight, and especially to get the engineers underway and to get the bid package underway, I'm just looking for guidance on authorizing the township engineer to proceed with the bid materials and also the other additional engineering and survey work that needs to be done to do these projects along Ann Arbor Trail in front of Township Park, including the crosswalk at McClumpha and then going eastward along Ann Arbor Trail. Now you might ask, how come we're not doing the priority, I think it was 2 and 3, which was sidewalks along McClumpha? The challenge with that is there was already sidewalks on the one side of McClumpha, and we would basically run out of money this year if we were to build another sidewalk. If we were to build sidewalks on McClumpha, we would basically have sidewalks to nowhere. We don't have enough money this year to completely sidewalk McClumpha. And if you look at it, I think if we just use our own personal experiences in the township, I would think that Ann Arbor Trail would be a more heavily traveled and more, would be just a generally higher priority to get people to and from the park safely and to get them downtown, into downtown Plymouth in a safer manner. So, Bob, you're like south of Ann Arbor Road right now. You got to go north.
I'm at McClumpha.
You're on McClumpha.
Yeah,
you
but
gotta
the
go
other
north.
way.
Yeah, I know, I was looking at McClumpha.
So
Oh,
there
you're
is
talking about
sidewalk
this
there
section.
on the east side of McClumpha.
Yeah.
That's nearly the entire way.
Yeah, I mean, the road is in terrible shape there, but that's the county's responsibility.
Well, I think that's a good idea. If you already have sidewalk on one side, put the priority somewhere else because you're covered on one side.
Exactly.
But I want to talk a little bit, now the engineer, hopefully you're going to take this back to Jeremy, is if you go to the portion on the north side of Ann Arbor Trail, west of Glenview, I think it's west, no, not west of Glenview, east of Glenview. Is that on our list or? Okay.
Is that
there?
That one's
Okay, that's
Soonan's
Don
house right
Soonan's
there.
property, but you go one house to the east, right there?
Right.
Yeah.
That is going to be extremely difficult and you're going to need an easement. In the past, you're going to really, because there is a cut to the grade here, to the road, so it'll be a massive rip-up of these people's front yard. So I'm trying to think how we could cleverly engineer around that. It'll be a big, big job, and I don't know if those residents will agree to an easement to change the complete look of their front yard.
Well, we had
We'll know
similar.
more when we send survey crew out to do the topo and we can design around the obstacles that are there. At this point, we have preliminary information and I think that
But
we'll,
my point is, before you spend the money on doing a lot of
to-
engineering,
Talk to the people.
yeah, let's talk to the neighbors. Maybe it's one of us that needs to do it with you or something. But it's a very steep drop off to the road.
That's not unlike the development at the cemetery, right?
Yeah, but the cemetery was public land. So
But
we
the
could do-
drop-off, though, is still the same, though.
Yeah.
I mean, the topography is challenging.
It's
Which house
challenging.
are you talking about, this first house?
Yeah, it's a
This
white
one?
house.
Dude, drop the man there on the street.
But it's right where the most dangerous part.
Drag it, you gotta
We
drag
need a
it back.
sidewalk because it's dangerous there. So it's
Drop it.
laudable.
Just drop him down, okay. So,
I know.
You hung him.
I can't.
so anyway, I think
I like
that's,
'em.
I think that's the area there.
No, that
Doesn't look like it.
doesn't look like it.
That's a bit of a there's a bit of a hill there. Bob, why don't you scroll,
Well,
aim to your
that
right.
might be it, but I just can't see the White House.
That's white.
There it is, right there. That's it.
That's it, right there.
That looks like a ranch. Is it a ranch?
That's the house.
It's
That's the
it's
house.
white.
It's white.
There's a
You
tree.
see I see the upper level, yeah.
I can see
Yeah,
that
'cause
tree
this is
might be
Don's
a,
driveway
But
right
that's what
here.
he's talking about, is how the topography goes up from the road,
I can see that tree being a problem.
yeah.
And a little bit further down.
And then it's really brushy there. And that's hilly too.
Yeah, but this
The
is the most
ridge.
dangerous
Then it
point where
starts
people, there's almost no shoulder.
Yeah.
There really,
People
it
take
really
their
isn't.
life in their hands because the road,
Yeah.
Hell.
as you approach from the west, as cars approach from the west, they can't be seen until they're right on top of you.
I know.
If you're farther east.
Exactly.
Is that where Xantop got hit?
Well,
Yeah, that's where Xantop got
got
whacked.
tagged, just up
But
the way,
he's a little
yeah.
farther east.
Yeah,
And then this is Soonan's property here.
Yeah, that one's easy, it's flat.
Yeah,
And he might give an easement, so
I'm sure he would.
yeah.
Does he have a lawn?
I think he's already said he would in the
That's all
past.
it is.
Does he have a lawn?
Yeah, there, Gary,
Vote
you
for
you
four,
can
but
see
they
the
have what?
view,
I think
just
someone
behind
had
that
lawns
car.
in front of his house.
behind that car,
Yeah.
first car.
Go back to Sonen's house. Just zoom in there.
It's a Heisey sign.
Just zoom-
Go,
no,
go,
no,
go back that way.
scroll,
Go back, go back.
No, go
the other way,
no,
the other way, the other way, Bob.
Oh, it's
park.
park. That's the park sign. That's a blast from the past.
Okay.
All right.
And the other item,
Didn't see that at first. I didn't know.
I thought it was the Heisey.
in the McClumpha Park area where we have potentially a $150,000 bill for a bridge, I want to see if maybe we move the fence, the picket fence, in.
To the
so
park?
that into the park, so we don't have to build another bridge.
What are you
Some-
talking about?
Some creative thinking around there. I don't,
What kind of bridge are you talking about?
Over.
well, it's 150,000 in the
If
provision.
it goes across
See
the
that fence
creek.
right there? See how the bridge makes it, not the bridge, the sidewalk makes a right-hand turn as you're walking,
Yeah, up there. I see that.
right, keep
Yeah,
going up,
yeah,
right there.
Boom, yeah.
Okay, so what we're going to do in this engineering project is come across like you show there. And I'm saying, well, maybe we change the border of the park where you go, right now you have to go in the park to cross through here and go through the parking lot. But if we move farther north, that fence, and then try to
Oh.
use, I don't know if it's possible, but see if we can use the bridge or the crossing that is already
Already there.
And then maybe you'd have to do a hairpin turn over see where it goes, where it makes that S turn, that's the creek. See the
Yeah.
creek where the S
Yeah,
turn?
yeah.
Yeah, Tonquist Creek.
So, let's say you swing it, you make a hairpin turn, come back straight towards the road parallel to the creek.
Okay.
Something creative other than spending $150,000 for a bridge.
Bridges are cool.
I know. That's why they cost so much money.
We
So,
put a covered bridge on and be like New England.
No, it's a maintenance.
so I want to see some creative thought here before we, throw the cash at it, because we may be able to
Okay.
do something different and then build the crosswalk or where McClumpha is, that's another, that slopes down towards the park there. I know there's going to be a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Make that safe. Right now, McClumpha is pretty sporting to cross that, because nothing's marked and can be hair raising if there's fast cars coming.
Okay, all good questions. And
So,
Tells the entire-
Jeremy, or whoever's working, are you going to be doing the work with Jeremy?
Yeah, I'll be on the team working with Jeremy.
So you've heard it, so, have somebody, I'll help, I'll call, you can call me up or whatever, and we can brainstorm a little bit, but
do you think Mr. Sonen might have some influence with the neighbors next door to him?
I do not know. Those neighbors there, I think have been there a very long time.
It's a historic house. I
Yeah,
know
it's a
that.
beautiful home.
Beautiful home.
Their name is Hendricks, I think. They've been there a long, long time.
This is small town America. We know everything about everything.
Yeah.
It's Norman
There's no
Rockwell.
secrets.
He loves pecan pie.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? I know this you know, I know we're deviating from the priority list that Jeremy put together, but I just think this is the best alternative.
Alternative, yeah.
I
Especially,
agree, it's a
Yeah.
high-risk spot
Yeah,
right now.
it is.
yeah.
And a lot of bicyclists.
Oh, yeah, and there is a 2-foot wide
Yeah.
shoulder,
Sure.
and it's very dangerous.
And we're not, you know, we're not spending any money tonight. I know that.
Can't until after April.
Ginger Moriarty, our finance director, has told us that the federal regulations that are attached to the ARPA funding, even with the more lenient spending guidelines, any money that is spent prior to April 1st of this year, it is more of an audit. It's almost like more of a true audit requirement. If you're after April 1st of this year, you still have to show where you spent it, but you do not have to
Less detailed.
justify it as detailed. So we don't want to spend any money tonight, but we want to get the engineers moving on.
Well,
what they need to
MTA
do.
was highly encouraging to go for it now. They didn't seem to have a lot of reservations.
I've heard other stories about that. I think, and I know with Ginger, she's done extensive research on this, and you know, I trust her judgment, and I agree. She's backing up what I've already heard, that we need to just defer any authorizations of spending until after April 1st. And that gives us, what I'd like to do, I don't know what day we're gonna do it, but sometime between now and April 1st, I think we should probably have a study session or maybe fold it into a regular meeting just to talk about ARPA funding priorities.
Public input.
And that's something that the feds are gonna require. I don't think we have to do a formal public hearing or anything like that, but just notice it up, put it on the agenda and just get some feedback. But, you know, we've got all these plans in place. We have a recreation plan, we have the township master plan, we have, you know, the tools are already in place to show us where investments like this can be made. And that's what the feds are
Looking for.
asking for, yeah.
May we have some feedback on whether the city of Plymouth is going to prioritize the North Territorial to Sheldon?
Yes.
When are they going to commit to that?
They claim they're going to do it this year. The former mayor told us that, the current mayor has told us that.
Mayor Pro Tem.
And they're getting $900,000 in ARPA money, and I know that that sidewalk gap is one of their priorities for this year.
Good, we keep encouraging them.
They have
That's one of the
never-
reasons we spent the money last year on North Territorial.
Right, yeah.
Is this in line with what our goals are? Remember, we just finished that up?
Yeah, we'll be submitting for your consideration, the prioritized goals at our next meeting, because we just had some issues that prevented us from doing it tonight. But the sidewalk gap program has always been it was a high priority last year. I'm sure it will be a high priority again this year.
Ready for a motion?
Sure.
I move that the Board of Trustees approve the 2022 sidewalk gap replacement project as outlined in the Township Sidewalk Gap 5-year plan. Priority items number 1, 3, 13, and 14, and authorize the township engineer to proceed with all necessary bid materials.
Second.
Okay, motion's made by trustee Dorchevitz, seconded by trustee Kermy. Mr. Clerk, please take the roll.
Trustee Dorchevitz.
Yes.
Trustee Monahan.
Yes.
Trustee Kermy.
Yes.
Clerk Borba, yes. Supervisor Heisey.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Before we leave this ARPA item, we have, about $1 million right now in our bank account?
We got 1.4 million. We've spent about 40,000.
But what my judgment is that, and I know we don't have a treasurer, but maybe we should put that money into a short-term CD, like 6 months or something like that. Because interest rates are rising, instead of just letting it sit, because you have to have it segregated anyway.
Yep.
So let's buy a CD.
Yeah, and you are allowed to do that. We can generate interest and keep that interest.
You can spend it,
And
yeah.
you can spend that interest, yeah. So we'll talk to Ginger and Amy Hammy about
Yes.
that. Yeah, I know we've had some internal discussions
Discussions
about
on
that
that.
already with Ginger, so, yeah, we can get Amy to do that.
All right, good, thanks.
All right. Excellent. Public comment, limited to 3 minutes. Yes.
Please come up.
Good evening, trustees. My name is Eric Yearlings, 46830 Betty Hill. Beck and North Territorial in the Glenview neighborhood. I have spoken a couple times to the Planning Commission. I don't have any prepared remarks tonight. However, recently spoke to them about some thoughts for the 2025 master plan. The discussion we've just had about the ARPA funding reinforces to me the importance that the master plan update does include topics such as electrified transportation, infrastructure, EV charging, solar, battery storage, things like that. Today, news about GM investing $7 billion in this community, Southeast Michigan, towards new facilities for EVs. There's no question, this is the future. I think that these dollars, this windfall that we have the ability to spend, yes, it should be spent on sidewalk projects, very commendable. Do not disagree with that whatsoever. I just think that in your consideration, your ability to spend money on future technologies should be reflected in the master plan so that you will not have the problem come audit time of why you spent dollars on infrastructure such as EV chargers. That is all.
So I'm the liaison to the Planning Commission, and unfortunately, I missed your presentation last week. But if you have any questions or want to chat, please feel free to reach out.
I'd be happy to, if you guys have a study session next week, I'd be happy to attend if that's helpful. Love to be able to share my ideas.
Okay.
Another question, with master plan typically doesn't dictate that kind of detail. It's more of a zoning thing. And the master plan doesn't have anything to do with ARPA funds.
So I understand there is somewhat of a disconnect there. However, the sidewalk projects being the feedback from the community, what's important, that kind of thing, that's reflected in the master plan is my understanding.
Yeah, well, priorities, there's some of that.
It was in the
recreational
master plan.
Are you talking about the master plan for zoning or for our plan for recreation?
It could be both. I think that encouraging folks to park their car at a park to charge it would be encouraging recreation.
Yeah. Well, we are redoing the update of the master plan with the city this year. I hope it's with the city. It makes sense. We did it last time and it worked very well. So we have to reach out to the city counterparts and let them know about it. I know Laura Haw, who you've met, our planner, she's well aware of that as well. And so, I know you and I have exchanged emails, but I just want to say that we are talking with DTE right now about installing electric vehicle charging stations here at Township Hall. It's got to get started somewhere. Yeah. I'd also like to see it at Township Park because it just makes sense. I can jog or, I don't know, golf or something like that and charge my car. It'd be great to have it at the golf course as well. I just don't know what the underground infrastructure looks like at this point. Those areas were not always well plumbed for electric. I also know that we have other businesses that are opening up in the community. I can't get into detail other than the Amazon warehouse down the street here. The Amazon warehouse has already built huge charging infrastructure for electric delivery vehicles. I mean, some of these vehicles aren't even on the road yet, but semis. I mean, these are electric powered semis that Amazon will be using. So they've already got that infrastructure in place. I think Henry Ford Hospital may be doing some EV as well. There are other businesses coming into town that I can't talk about yet, right now, but they're also very interested, and they've already committed to putting EV charging stations in. And I would love to talk about it, but I can't right now. So I'm busting. I'd love to tell you about it.
So what is your industry or business that you make your living from?
I am a civil and environmental engineer employed here in Plymouth Township on 5 Mile Road. Recently started with Metro Consulting Associates, and I work on projects for municipalities, institutions, energy developers, doing various projects, most of them renewable energy focused. So I happen to read a lot about it and am passionate about it and wanted to bring it to your attention tonight.
Thank you.
Good, thanks.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Anyone else at this time? All righty, we're going to move on to board comments, starting with Bob Dorshevitz.
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, Jerry Vorva.
I just wanted to mention that, a longtime Plymouth person, Jim Jabara, passed away. He's a former mayor of the city of Plymouth, a former city commissioner of the city of Plymouth. I served with him. on the city commission from 1989 to 93. A real champion of Plymouth, involved in all kinds of civic activities and promoting Plymouth and the Salvation Army, just a wonderful person, passed away recently. And I know Kurt and I was just at the viewing here today and just wanted to mention that. Also, we have some people who are retiring. I don't know if the supervisors like to mention, but one of his mine employees is Diane Leclerc, 25-year employee. She's my records clerk. She'll be retiring here in the next week. And so we're just very thankful that we've had very dedicated employees in the township who have done good work for us and have been good public servants and good residents, many of them. So thank you.
Okay, Audrey?
Nothing, thank you.
Chuck?
Nothing.
Okay, another retirement is Assistant Chief John Brothers is also retiring on February 1st. And so we will have a farewell ceremony for him on Friday, which will be his last day at Township Hall. And,
This, you mean the 28th?
yeah, on Friday, this Friday,
At
the
lunch.
28th. Yeah, in the afternoon, no, late afternoon.
There's gonna be a lunch though, I think.
I don't know if you're allowed to
Oh, I'm
say
not allowed
that.
to say that.
There will be a
There will be no lunch.
farewell ceremony.
No food for you.
Farewell ceremony.
I don't want any food, I'm on a diet.
Late that afternoon. Okay, so if we were to have a lunch, you'd be invited. And anyway, that will set into motion some other personnel changes, obviously, in the police department.
Also from DPW.
And we have a retirement, Randy Kruger in DPW is also retiring. So we're aware of these things and we've been prepared for it. And Chief Tidrington, maybe at a future meeting, if once everything, the dust is settled, you can just tell us what the promotions are going to look like and all that.
The testing been completed?
Where do we go from here?
The testing is completed?
Turn your mic on. Turn your mic on.
Sorry about that. We have an existing list that expires in August, so we'll promote off the existing.
All right, so everybody knows who it is.
Yeah, might be your neighbor.
There you go. Okay, thank you very much. We're done in an hour. I think that's the shortest meeting we've had in a long time. Thank you very much. Cool. And we will not have a study session next week. I know it's scheduled, but there is no need for a study session. So we will see you all again on Tuesday, February 8th. Okay? All right, need a motion to adjourn.
Move for the adjournment.
Motion's made by Clerk Forbes. Is there a second? Seconded by Trustee Monahan. All those in favor of adjournment signify by saying aye.
Aye. Thank you very much.